Welcome to this class on global perspectives in missions and ministry. My name is Jason Coker. I'll be your professor this semester in this online course. I'm really excited about what this course is going to mean for you guys, what it's going to mean for me, hopefully, what it means for kind of the future of our ministries. Collectively and individually, because I think it's important. I want us to kind of get our heads around how we do missions in the world, what it means, our place in it, our humanity in relation to others. That's kind of be part and parcel of what the whole course is, but we'll get there eventually. Right now, I just want to spend some time going over the syllabus. Doing an overview of that so that if you have any questions about it, maybe this presentation will help you and then give you some ideas about what we expect for the class. So first of all, my contact information, Coker_KJ at mercer.edu. And then I'm giving you guys my cell number, 601-540-5679. Feel free to call me or email me whenever you need anything. I do two things outside of teach online courses. I'm the coordinator for the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship of Mississippi, so I'm kind of the denominational leader for the state of Mississippi in the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship. And I'm also the national director of the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship's Rural Development Coalition called Together for Hope. And in Together for Hope, we fight poverty in the persistent rural poverty counties across America. So those are the things I do. This is a picture of me to give you an idea of what I look like. I hope I can get to know some of you guys that during the welcome of this course, you'll kind of give us some information about you so that we can all know each other a little bit better in this learning community. Course description and outcome. This is directly from the syllabus. And the outline of this lecture is basically the syllabus. I mean, that's exactly what it comes from. So this course will explore the biblical, historical, and missiological foundations of God's mission in the world with some attention to the implications of these foundations for a variety of ministry contexts. The first half of this course is really going to be about history, kind of the way Christianity became a proselytizing religion up through the medieval period into the Reformation, and then kind of looking at Christianity in Catholicism and Protestantism during the imperial period of Western expansion, specifically European Western expansion through colonization. And then we're going to end up in kind of like Christianity in X. Asia, Africa, the Americas, things of that nature. So that's how the course that was going to be played out. And in the process, as we learn, read the history, see the process, see some of the rationale for ministry, I hope this will affect the way we think about ourselves, not just in relation to the world, but how we think about ourselves in relation to other selves, other people. And keep that relationship dynamic and not paternalistic, not patronizing, so that we don't feel like we're the ones that have to go do the saving. But in the relationship between self and the other, in that relationship, maybe something new happens, and maybe hopefully we can kind of build a vocabulary around that in a mission context through this class. Some of the outcomes here: develop and understand the biblical foundations of mission that serve as the core of the church's missional DNA. That's first couple of weeks when we talk about some of the biblical concepts of missions and the spread of early Christianity throughout the Roman world. Number two, consider the ways in which the gospel has emerged from within various global contexts in ways that offered new understandings and perspectives that would not have been otherwise available. We'll talk about that specifically in these different regional expressions of Christianity. Nurture the ability to critique a particular context from a missional perspective in order to help encourage a dynamic, biblical, sustainable, and realistic model for formation and engagement in that context. And here, I think this is where we have to be open for our own transformation. And I think that's important to as a human being in relation to other human beings. We have to hold the capacity for ourselves to be changed as much as anything else. And then finally, encourage the cultivation of the wide range of skills necessary to be an effective missional leader in local churches and community ministries. And that is specifically related to what does it mean to be a human in relation to others. Now, this photo here is a real special photo to me. I was in Mumbai, India, when I took this, and India's in Mumbai in particular is just so full of people. It's a spectacular cosmopolitan metropolis, even with people from all over the world there. And this is just a real busy intersection in this pedestrian area, and the sun coming through, and all the people is just. When I think of missions, I think of this photo of how there's light shed and everybody has an epiphany. It is a beautiful space for me. So I share that with you to maybe capture what ministry missions might look like photographically. There are going to be some texts required for the course. Douglas Jacobson, James Akoya, and then Lamansana. These are the three texts we're going to be using specifically. The picture here, the Poisonwood Bible, I provided because I'd like for you to read the Poisonwood Bible. It's a good kind of it's a pure novel, but I like the novel because it really does criticize the way traditional Western missionaries lived, and it's an internal critique, a family critique. So check that out. I mean, it's a good read. It's a great book. And worth your time. The other one down below is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe is a Nigerian author. He just died a couple of years ago. And Achebe's Things Fall Apart really did kind of change literature in a lot of ways, English literature, because he was a first, and that should be Chinua. There's a Cinua, Chinua Achebe. Apparently, my autocorrect turned it to China. But Things Fall Apart was his book about how Western missionary expansion engaged local cultures. And it's a novel. It's a really good novel, and he does two things in this novel that's important. He criticizes the colonial missionary culture, which was common among native authors, but he also criticized his own culture, which was uncommon. And he basically said, you know what, we didn't have everything all right before missionaries got here. So he was both a bit of critical and open to both cultures, which was a shift. These two books are fairly inexpensive. You can read them really quick. So get a copy if you can. But these aren't our required texts. The required texts are Jacobson, Akoya, and Sana. So we'll be reading these books through the semester. Attendance is always important. If you miss a quarter of our class periods, you automatically fail the course. So please, and that online courses are online, but we keep attendance for them every time, every week when you complete a project, whether it's an exam or a discussion, you write for a discussion group, or you take a quiz. There's going to be an activity like that every week, even a paper, turning in your paper. All that's what counts as your attendance. So if you don't do that one week, you're not present for class, and if you're not present for class, then you'll suffer for it because you'll miss what's happened in class and have to go back. And if you miss 4 class periods, then you automatically fail the course. So please show up in attendance. Course evaluation and grading scale. Let me go back. This is a picture of a man baptizing. This was a church from India who was in the Promised Land, and this guy's baptizing a parishioner in the Jordan River in Israel. So a lot of these pictures I wanted to explain: Poisonwood Bible, this India picture, both of the. Okay, so I just want to make sure I explained all the pictures up until now. So this guy was being baptized in the Jordan River. It's a really cool experience to do that. So if you get to go to Israel, go here and get baptized. This picture is when I was a teenager in college and spent a summer in the Philippines as a summer missionary. Rudy Fernandez is the pastor down in the front, and this church is kind of out in they called it the barrio, the countryside, and I had an incredible experience there when I was in college. But the course evaluation has nothing to do with the photo. You're going to have weekly quizzes and weekly discussion groups. So you won't have quizzes and discussion groups. It'll be a discussion question or a quiz every week that you'll have to complete. I'm only going to grade your top 10 best. Okay, so I'll drop the lower scores and you'll get graded on the 10 best scores you make on quizzes and discussions. Basically, each quiz, each discussion is going to be 2 points. You'll have 10. It's going to end up being 20 points for your overall semester towards your ultimate grade. You'll have a midterm and a final. The midterm and the final are going to come directly from the reading. I'll post them about a week out so that you can have them. And again, it'll come directly from the reading, verbatim from the reading. So the reading is incredibly important. If you don't do the reading, you will not make 40% of your grade, which will be a failure. So make sure you do all the reading for the midterm and the final. Again, they'll be posted. The due dates are already out on the syllabus. So no surprises there. The paper is going to be 40% of your grade. This paper is important. I talked about it a little bit more in the syllabus, but this is basically your idea of what missions is, and you can use the readings for class. You'll need to get some readings beyond class, some articles and things from the library. You can use video lectures and things of that nature. Make sure that the resources you use are all academic resources, though. So engage those readings for your paper. The class is the way we set it up for grading scale is 93 to 100 is an A, 89 to 92 is B plus, 82 to 88 is B, 78 to 81 C plus, 70 to 77 is C. Everything below 70 is an F. So I've given you a rubric for papers, what I expect in an A paper, B paper, C paper, F paper, and so on. It's pretty extenuous in the syllabus, so spend some time paying attention to that and the guidelines around how long the paper is going to be and the content of the paper. And things of that nature. So that's how the course is set up. You'll be graded accordingly, and any kind of questions about evaluation, just please let me know. There's not much to say on incompletes, plagiarism, late work. This is the main church in Iceland, in Reykjavik, Iceland. It's beautiful. Not much to say about that either, besides go to Reykjavik if you can. It's a beautiful place. Incomplete, if for whatever reason you're not going to get all your work done, you need to file for an incomplete before the end of the semester. There is no real grace in cheating and plagiarism. There's a whole paragraph on incompletes in the syllabus. There's more than a paragraph on cheating and plagiarism. There's another paragraph on late work. You got to have a doctor's excuse and things of that nature not to be able to have your work done on time. And this is specifically related to the midterm, the final, and the paper. The other late work, like you filling out writing your discussion or finishing a quiz, if you don't do that, then you're not present for class. So that's going to hurt you from that perspective. So that's all that we can really say about incompletes, plagiarism, cheating, and late work. Now, if you do have any kind of special needs for this course, please communicate that to me ASAP. We are obligated to make sure we make this course as complete to you as we can. There are some limitations on our end, but we fully expect to do all that we can to make sure that we give you the accommodations that you need to make sure this course is possible for you. However, this is an online course. If you cannot go online, you cannot do this course. So, if saying that you can't get online is not an excuse for this course because it's an online course. In other words, if you can't do an assignment, if you can't do a paper, if for some reason, if the reason you're giving me is I couldn't get online, that's not a reason. But if you do need kind of special accommodations from a disability standpoint or a physical standpoint, please let me know ASAP. This picture is important because it gives you kind of how Europe divided up Africa, and it's devastating. It's a devastating map, but it gives you an idea of the kind of the political boundaries in Africa after Europeans colonized it. So we'll talk a lot about colonization and mission work. So finally, we have the course outline. This is how these kind of the big topics of how the course breaks down. We will start with the biblical concepts of mission. I'm a New Testament scholar, so I'll talk about the New Testament. And Okoya's work deals with kind of mission in an Old Testament, or maybe Hebrew Bible foundations for mission. We'll spend a couple of weeks there paying close attention to that. Then we'll move into the spread of early Christianity. And this is kind of after the biblical period, after the New Testament period, which is really the first century, early second century, and look at the spread of Christianity. How did Christianity spread? Why did it spread? Would we consider this missions? That's going to be important for those 2 weeks. And then we're going to kind of do a chronological leap. After Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire with Constantine in about 325 or so, or actually 312 with Constantine. But once Christianity became the imperial religion, things really shifted. And then we kind of bounced forward to Christian Europe. And as Christianity became the thing of Europe, Europe kind of split between Catholicism and what became Protestantism. And so we're talking about Christian Europe in that, and the way Christian Europe proselytized from a Catholic standpoint and from a Protestant standpoint were very, very different. And then we'll kind of end that first half of the semester with the West and the rest, and how that kind of imperial context was generated from Europe specifically and the rest of the world. And America gets lumped into Europe as well and considered the West. There's quite a bit of racism in that, so we want to kind of be really aware of how that functions. Moving into the second half of the semester, we'll look at empire and mission, when European colonization started happening and how the whole world was colonized during that period, and how missions functioned within empire, and sometimes how mission functioned counter empire. And then there are some places where missionaries weren't allowed because they felt like it would compromise the colonial power. So that's we'll look at that for 2 weeks. And then we're going to get into the global context of missions and ministry. And this is where we will focus on Christianity in the Americas, Christianity in Asia, Christianity in Africa, Christianity in the United States, Christianity in Europe, and pay close attention to those contextual processes of missions. And then we'll end the semester with the church and missions today. I hope the semester will kind of launch us into the way we think about ministry and missions today and moving forward. And this picture here is when I was a pastor in Connecticut. The Swami and I were really good friends at the Hindu temple. And, there's a difference between missions and interfaith dialogue. And those two have always had kind of a tense relationship. I want us to end with that question. I hope that tension isn't resolved, but continues to be a tension that we work through beyond this class. So this is an overview of the course. If you have any kind of question whatsoever, feel free to send me an email. If there's anything in the syllabus that you're unsure about, just send me an email. You can call me, but I'd rather you do all our work via email if we can. But you can call if we need to talk. Hope you guys enjoy this. Hope this is exciting for you. I'm excited about the semester. I'm excited about putting this course together for you and look forward to it. Again, if you have anything, just send me an email. Take care.